line in my fitting hat. I don't wanna go. Nothing else is turning right.
Hi, I'm Dr. McGuire. We have a presentation over here that you might be interested in. Would anyone like a brochure?
I can't see these refrigerator magnets are a big draw either.
This isn't working, is it? I'm sure this antiseptic lab coat isn't helping. Hi.
Thanks.
Oh my God, did you see that?
Yeah, but if they saw me up to my elbows in large intestine, I think it's really hot.
So, Jordan, did you think you'd be doing this when you were in high school?
I was happy just to graduate. Becoming a doctor wasn't even a pipe dream.
I bet you are a very interesting teenager.
Interesting good or interesting weird?
Just interesting.
What about you? I'm guessing cheerleader?
Of course. For sure.
Nice. Shorts, little sweaters, the occasional short skirt.
Oh, uniform on game day.
Rah, rah, rah. Oh, yearbook?
Most likely to never change. You?
Most likely to do 5 to 10.
Oh.
Yeah. I would have hated you.
Likewise.
Police! Boston PD, stay where you are. Take him out. Get behind your head. Hey, be quiet. Don't be stupid. I don't have any bail.
What are you looking for? Who are you? In the office.
We got a tip a shipment of crack made its way into school grounds.
That's my locker. Wait a minute. Do anything! Back off, lady. This is police business.
I'm a doctor, okay?
What he needs is a lawyer. He's fine.
The hell he is, he's in shock. Oh, we need some help.
Is he okay?
No, do you know his name?
It's Stephen Hayes. Can I do anything?
Yeah, call paramedics.
Steven. Come on, Steven.
We need some help, Billy.
Gotcha. We got one.
Bag it.
Excuse me, Sergeant. He's dead.
Standard procedure, Detective?
Sergeant O'Hara insists his actions were warranted. The kid was belligerent.
Does he look dangerous to you?
The lead was good. IMB's on their way. I mean, we can agree that clearly this was an accident.
Look, Detective, we're not out to get you, Sergeant. But if an autopsy shows that he's responsible, he's responsible.
Should I talk to Macy about this?
Hey, you know what? You can call the Pope for all I care. Our job is to find out why a 16-year-old boy is dead. And I can promise you no one here is taking sides.
Not yet, anyway.
Excuse me, Mr. Vasco. What can you tell us about Stephen Hayes?
He was a great kid. Had some problems with his grades lately, but he was a gifted athlete. The fact that there were drugs in his locker is unbelievable to me.
You have any trouble with him before?
No. Stephen was our star running back. He liked to joke around, but he was never in any trouble.
What about his parents? Any other siblings?
He was an only child, raised by his father. Mom died when he was little.
Is there any history of drug abuse in the family?
Absolutely not. My boy never did any damn drugs, and you know it. What have you done with my son's body? I want to see my boy.
Mr. Hayes, I'm very sorry, but he's on his way to the morgue.
Then I want to speak to the cop who killed him.
You have every right to be upset, but I can assure you nobody killed your son.
The hell he didn't. There are 50 witnesses out there who saw the whole damn thing. And if you people think I'm going to sit back and let you whitewash this...
Mr. Hayes, please, I know this is a terrible tragedy, but there's going to be an investigation.
Somebody's going to pay for this. You hear me? Someone's going to pay.
Hey, what's up, guys? Looks like spring went on strike. I'm freezing. Bug, tell me you brought another one of those for me.
Since when do you drink hot green tea with honey and black pearls?
Since my lips are so frostbite, they're about to fall off.
Enjoy.
What a guy, what a guy. What's going on, Lily? What brings you out here?
Department says I need to complete 85 hours of field work. This is my first case.
Sorry it's not more exciting. Looks like man versus city bus with an obvious outcome.
Poor guy.
Dozen witnesses were on board. They all said the same thing. He just appeared in the street without any warning.
Massive contusions to the head, courtesy of the front bumper.
Best part is Donald Foster was an employee of the U.S. government.
What's so good about that?
They smacked an IRS auditor.
Hey, show a little respect.
So he either got tired of being despised and decided to call it quits, or he was distracted by all the evil deeds he was hatching in his brain. Either way, accident or suicide, Bug, take your pick.
Not so fast.
Don't tell me I missed something.
Oh, okay, I won't, but you did. Take a look at the top of his head. See this pattern here? Something oddly shaped hit him on the cranium.
Not a bus bumper?
Not a bus bumper.
Jordan, I just got off the phone with Walcott. The kid's father already has a lawyer who's issuing a cease and desist order.
That'll make our jobs a lot easier.
They want an independent pathologist to observe the autopsy. So Dr. Melbourne is coming in from Philadelphia. I'll be here in a couple hours.
It's gonna be open and shut. Cop did it.
You sure about that?
Seems pretty clear to me.
What's clear is that a 16-year-old is dead, and there are a lot of unanswered questions.
Are you defending the police?
Look, you saw the same thing I did. The kid was a football player in decent shape. There was one punch with a fist, not a nightstick.
And it's possible that punch caused severe internal damage.
You jump to conclusions. Let the evidence speak for itself.
Who's going to speak for Stephen Hayes? I need you to check and recheck your findings. We are literally policing the police, so just be sure. What do you got?
Deep bruising and internal swelling, indicative of internal bleeding.
Scratches on his arms and elbows. Probably from struggling with the cop.
Well, then again, football players take a lot of punishment on the field.
She's right. Perfectly healthy-looking athlete dies from a single blow to the abdomen. Doesn't make any sense. How are we doing on the tox screen, Nigel?
Negative for hematologic abnormalities. It's going to take a bit longer to run the drug assay, I think.
I'm not convinced all those bruises are from the raid.
Newspaper says Hiding High had a football game last night.
Okay, we're in dangerous territory here. Identify every contusion on his body. Any recent ones, I want to know how they got there.
Okay, where should we start?
Well, like you said, Hayes played football last night. We start with the coach.
You have a field trip of mine.
Something tells me you might be a little more effective with jocks than I would.
Oh. Keith? Yeah, I've been trying to shake the whole cheerleader image for a long time. Is it that bad?
Keep trying, love.
Coach Vickers?
Let me guess. Another TV reporter.
Oh, no, sir, not even close. I'm Dr. Devin McGuire. I'm from the coroner's office.
You work with stiffs all day?
Well, someone needs to brighten the place up.
You like football, Doc?
Nothing gets between me and my Patriots. So I imagine you knew Stephen Hayes pretty well.
He was on my team since freshman year. Strong player. Nice kid, too.
I need to know when he played last.
Last night, in St. Joe's, he took a wicked beating.
Was he injured?
We had 4 of our players carried off the field. Hayes was one of them.
Wow, tough night. How was he hit?
He got clipped. Aggravated his knee problem.
It's not exactly the injury we were looking for. Something else caused the abdominal bleeding, which leads me to drug use.
Hayes seemed clean. I mean, these kids today, they do what they want, when they want. Would it surprise me if he was using? Absolutely. But these guys surprise me every day.
Excuse me? Are you the woman who tried to save Stephen? One of them. Why?
I'm his girlfriend. Was his girlfriend. Can I just talk to you for a second?
Of course. I'm so sorry. I'm Devin.
Andrea. I just can't believe he's gone.
How long did you two know each other?
Since like first grade. I think we always knew we'd end up together, you know? It just felt right.
Andrea, did the police ask any questions yet?
I tried talking to that guy, Detective Cruz, but he wouldn't listen to a word I said. All this talk about Stephen's drug problem, he didn't even smoke cigarettes.
Well, then why was the crack in his locker?
Look, I'm not lying to you. I don't know how it got there, but it wasn't his. Stephen was a crappy student, and he did a lot of stupid things. But buying and selling, that wasn't one of them.
What do you think you're doing?
Nothing. We're just talking.
No, you don't talk to a witness without talking to me first. You understand?
Yeah, whatever you say.
Okay, here's the lowdown. Mr. Internal Revenue Service here did not just stroll into traffic. He was in the neighborhood to audit one Victor Carlson.
So was he murdered before or after he ruined someone's day?
You couldn't just let this be an accident, could you, Bug?
I'm not the one who deliberately slammed something into his skull.
So what do we do next?
Next, I am going to go visit Victor Carlson.
It would help my next evaluation if I followed this case from beginning to end. And you know how helpful Bug can be, examining a crime scene and all.
Hello. Can I help you?
Hi, how are you? I'm Detective Woody Hoyt, Boston PD.
Oh, I'm Frances Littleton.
Do you mind if we ask you a few questions regarding this morning's bus tragedy?
Oh, not at all. What a terrible accident. Please, come in. I'm sort of in the middle of something.
Oh, those smell fantastic.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Do you bake?
Not really. I'm better at burning.
Oh, well, you should keep trying. Cooking's very therapeutic.
The deceased had an appointment with Victor Carlson this morning.
Was Mr. Carlson one of your boarders?
Oh, yes, for 7 years. He's a lovely man. Would you like a muffin?
Oh, thank you.
Is he here now?
No, Victor drove off in a hurry this morning. I don't know why.
Do you know where he went?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Could we see his room, please?
Of course.
This him?
Yes, and his wife. A lonely widower subsisting on a government pension. It's sad, really.
A man of simple needs.
Well, he has his past. Sometimes it's enough.
Don't yell at me, Renee. No, we can't start cutting until the independent pathologist gets here. I gotta call you back. I got a situation.
Why is that high school crawling with medical examiners?
Possibly because a violent death occurred there this morning. Last I heard, Dr. McGuire was going alone.
No, she's interviewing witnesses.
It's part of her job, Detective Cruz.
Yeah, it's part of her job to gun for my sergeant.
She's not gunning for anyone.
Look, half the city's out for Harris' head on a plate, and somebody's got to stand up for him. This kid was built like a brick outhouse. You think some light punches killed him?
We know why he died. We'll pass the law.
I've seen a dozen guys drop dead because of cocaine. Blood pressure right through the roof, the heart craps out, they're gone. That's it, end of story.
Decided delirium due to cocaine overdose. I'm familiar with the syndrome. There is so far no evidence that kid was high.
Cocaine in the locker means cocaine in the bloodstream. That's it, guaranteed. The kid was full of drugs.
Drugs, yes. Cocaine? No.
Barbiturates.
Yeah. The plot thickens, the mystery deepens.
Dead teens do tell tales, I guess.
Where were you guys?
Mrs. Lillian gave us some cookies to share with the staff.
We thought the guys in the garage might like a few.
That's cute. Can we get back to work, please? Here's the inside dirt on Victor Carlson.
11 years ago, a tax offender retired from the U.S. Postal Service after 37 years on the job.
Postal worker, what a surprise.
Only smudges on his sheet are 2 incidences of domestic violence in the early 80s.
There's so much for the lonely widower who misses his wife terribly.
Well, 2 reports were filed. How many warrants?
Question is it enough to assume that the old guy snapped, killed the IRS dude, and took off?
I'd love to ask him that question myself.
What do you think he is?
I'm looking into family out of state, and his car is not at the boarding house, so I'm assuming he's driving. I got Highway Patrol keeping their eyes open. This Hoyt. Mrs. Littleton, slow down. I can't understand what you're saying. No, Mrs. Littleton. No, do not put yourself in any danger. Do you understand me? I will be right there, okay? Victor Carlson's back.
I tried to keep him here. I knew you wanted to talk to him, but he was in such a hurry. He went to his room and about 5 minutes later rushed out again.
He came back for the photo of he and his wife.
It's pretty weird under the circumstances.
I'm really sorry. I did the best I could.
You did the right thing not interfering. He's dangerous, ma'am.
Oh, well, I'm afraid that I did interfere just a little. I followed him to the door and listened. He made a telephone call. I couldn't make out the words, though.
The phone has a redial.
Freedom Bus Lines, may I help you?
That's it. I got nothing to go to the DA with. Thanks a lot, Dr. Kavanaugh.
Take it that was the independent pathologist.
Dr. Melbourne in all his rage and glory.
He didn't look too happy when he left.
I think he lost his expert witness money. The lung tissue shows signs of gradual long-term respiratory failure.
You thinking it's from prolonged drug use?
Well, given the cocaine in his locker and the barbiturates in his system, I doubt this will go to trial now. I noticed some scars on his tongue. They look old.
Seizures, maybe?
That's my guess. Question is, were they drug-induced?
Fat necrosis of the pancreas.
The digestive enzymes damage the blood vessels, causing them to rupture into the intestinal cavity.
Okay, so I'll admit it. You were right. I was wrong.
No, not necessarily. The kid was 16. His father, his coach, his girlfriend, they're all painting a very different picture. Well, if this kid's living another life outside of football, we need to know about it.
Try talking to Principal Vasco again.
Information like this doesn't really come from a principal's office. Look, you already talked to the jocks and cheerleaders. Now it's my turn. Hey, guys. Can I have a minute? I'm not a cop. I'm a doctor. I just have a few questions about what happened this morning.
What happened is Stephen Hayes got himself killed.
Did any of you know him? Did he hang out with you guys?
I think you're asking the wrong people here, lady. Stephen Hayes didn't hang out with guys like us. He played ball, you know. He was Mr. Popularity, and you can't be both.
Oh, come on, man. Even jocks use sometimes. Stephen got busted. All our tests show that he had a problem. Now, any of you ever party with him? You weren't afraid to talk to me when the raid was happening. You even called for help. Why not talk to me now?
Look, I don't know what you're saying, lady, but if you want to discuss this privately, you know, my ride's right in the parking lot. It's got a real nice back seat. We can get comfortable.
Yeah, well, thanks. I think I'll pass, man. Look, I just want to find out.
Find out what exactly, Dr. Kavanaugh?
I'm out of here.
Principal Vasco, what a surprise.
Had I known you wanted to talk to some of our less cooperative students, I could have arranged something.
I prefer to keep things a little more impromptu.
I'd prefer you didn't. Can I offer you a security escort back to your car?
I think I can handle it.
Please, let me know if I could be of further assistance. You know where to find me.
Yeah, how could I forget?
Did you finish the autopsy?
We're still running some labs.
It wasn't just O'Hara, right? I mean, there's more to Hayes' death than that.
I'm just trying to do my job here. Why are you being so patient, detective?
Listen, to keep things from happening that shouldn't happen.
Like what?
I had a partner. Got crucified for being too rough with a dirtbag kid who raped an old lady. Turned out he wasn't 18 yet. The kid went to juvie. My partner went to a desk job. Permanently.
The laws are written to protect everyone.
The laws are written for a different world at a different time. You clear my sergeant and let's move on.
I'll let you know when Dr. Kavanaugh and I complete our investigation.
No, I came up empty. I was trying to get one of the kids to talk when Vasco showed up and ruined everything. Devin, tell Garrett he's got to hang on a little longer. I know he's under a lot of pressure, but until we can figure out exactly what killed Stephen, Cruz and the others are going to have to wait. Okay.
Just put it in gear and get us out of here.
Relax. If you want money, just take it, man.
I don't want your money, Doc. I'm a cop.
Where's that green tea when you need it?
There's a cute little cafe around the corner that makes a killer latte. 3 doubles on me if we're back in the car in 5 minutes.
You are on. Carlson's Auto is a 69 Eldorado.
Hard to miss considering it's the size of the QE2.
Sorry, Lily. Gonna have to take a rain check on that latte. Victor Carlson, freeze. Victor?
I think he took your request literally.
That is hard after all. Sorry, I just couldn't risk Vasco seeing us together and getting suspicious. The school supervisory committee hired me, and he only knows me as the transfer kid from Connecticut.
How long have you been working narcotics?
Oh, deep cover at the school, about 3 months, but I'm just scratching the surface.
So what do you know about Stephen Hayes?
I know he was a lousy student. I know he didn't use at all.
Well, you saw the report. I mean, if that's true, how the damn is he in the system?
And the drugs in his locker.
I try to track every major drug dealer that comes into the school, and that crack popped out of nowhere.
So you had nothing to do with the raid this morning?
Zero. Crack of dawn, I get a call from my division captain. Vasco ordered the whole thing. I'm just supposed to keep my head down and stay out of trouble.
Why Vasco?
That's what I keep asking. The only thing they found was the rock in Hayes' locker. It's like he was the only target.
So Vasco ordered the raid, and Stephen Hayes was the only kid affected.
And the specific drug in his locker wasn't in a system or bought from a school supplier.
Looks like there's more to Vasco's relationship with Stephen than we know about.
Okay, so based on what we got so far, Carlson panicked, clocked the auditor, left, came back, left again, went to the bus station. But what happened after that?
My guess? The stress was too much for him.
Probably had a massive coronary or stroke.
Old guy never even made it out of his car. Temperature's been so low, his body probably started to freeze less than an hour after he expired.
How long is it going to take to defrost him?
Damage just a few minutes, but internal organs could take several hours.
Okay. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go back to Francis Littleton's house, see if I can find the murder weapon. If I can place Carlson's prints on something.
Case closed.
Remember, heavy object odd design.
Thank you, Bug. That really narrows it down.
Just trying to help.
Dr. McGuire? My secretary didn't tell me anyone was still here.
Just going through some of Stephen's records. Hope you don't mind my burning the midnight oil.
Well, it has been an exceptionally long day, but...
Everyone tells me Stephen's grades were in trouble, but according to this, he recently made some significant improvements. From a D to a B in several subjects. Fast, too.
I was unaware he'd been working so hard.
It seems a little odd, doesn't it? Given everything we're learning about him. Sorry, excuse me. McGuire?
Dr. McGuire?
It's me, Andrea. Stephen's girlfriend.
I'm sorry. What can I do for you?
There's something I haven't told you.
This didn't have anything to do with drugs.
Tell me more. What do you mean?
I want everyone to know the truth.
Go to my locker. Make sure Vasco doesn't see you.
It's number 341. The combination's the same as my phone number on your phone.
When's the last time you read Human Anatomy?
It's been a while.
Read it cover to cover.
Everything okay?
Work. Listen, if it's all right with you, I'd like to keep going here for a while. Thank you.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night. Jordan, it's me. I'm still looking around to get this. Stephen and Vasco just became exponentially more complicated. Guess who else is most likely to do 5 to 10?
Vasco has a family. He's been married for 20 years.
Let's not forget his wife's on the school board.
Look, I'm not here to pass judgment on some guy's infidelity. Connected to Stephen Hayes.
Vasco ordered the last-minute drug bust, right?
Yeah, he called us the night before, and he insisted on it.
Everyone, including your informant, says Stephen was clean. Yet he was targeted for the bust as a potential dealer. Why? Because Stephen had something on the principal. Knowledge of an affair Vasco needed to keep quiet.
Okay, so Vasco used the drug bust to cover up his after-school fling. But if Stephen was the innocent in all of this, how'd the drugs get in the system?
There's still something about Stephen Hayes we don't know about yet. If we can just find all the pieces, maybe we can put the puzzle together.
This photo of Andrea and Stephen. I wonder if this can tell us anything.
All right, so, how big do you like it? Well, I meant the photograph, of course.
Just keep enlarging it till I tell you when to stop.
Fine, if you must be vague about it, let's try 20 times.
Let's go bigger.
What are we looking for, Doctor?
Yes, Doctor, do tell.
Something I noticed around his neck. It's a medallion.
Yeah, computer, enhance graphic times 5, isolate, focus.
Unless St. Francis looks like a serpent, I'd say that's a medical alert pendant.
Yeah, there's no physical impairment listed in his file.
Well, there was nothing on him when he died.
So why would young Mr. Hayes wear a caduceus?
For a problem no one's talking about anymore? Maybe something we weren't supposed to dig up.
What do you think Mrs. Littleton baked this morning?
I'm thinking a nice Irish soda bread or some hot steaming popovers.
Take a deep breath. If you close your eyes, you can almost smell it.
Oh.
How does a guy decompose overnight?
Is it the thermal blanket?
This is impossible. He just died yesterday.
I'm stunned Mr. Carlson could have done such a thing. He's always been such a sweet, generous soul.
People are tough to predict, Mrs. Littleton. Desperation can affect us in unfortunate ways.
Oh, ain't it the truth? If it hadn't been for that IRS man, he probably would have lived quietly for a few more years.
Yes, ma'am, but you can hardly blame the poor auditor. He was merely doing his job.
People should be left alone in their twilight years to enjoy the time that they have left.
Amen to that.
So what brings you back here, Detective?
First of all, you're baking. Second, I was hoping to find a murder weapon. Close this case out.
Mr. Carlson could have hit that man over the head with almost anything.
True. But I'd like to find something that retains prints easily. Some sort of household item, metal or ceramic. If I can lift the print, I can verify the assailant.
That's what I was afraid of.
Mrs. Littleton, I have to tell you, those scones rock. Miss Littleton, I have to ask you, do you wash the stove regularly? Do you clean it regularly?
I do. And no one in the house is allowed in the kitchen except for me.
I'm sorry to hear that because I couldn't help but notice, but your burners match the
Too much tea, dear?
Based on the rate of decomp and the status of the remaining tissue, I put time of death of more than a year and a half ago.
Doesn't really square with Mrs. Littleton's account, does it?
Not hardly. This poor guy's been in deep freeze for at least 18 months.
Mr. Carlson's pension checks were being mailed to the boarding house all this time. Last one was cashed 10 days ago.
I doubt he was up for a visit to the ATM.
According to Social Security, it was co-signed by Francis Littleton.
Can you do a search on other accounts where Mrs. Littleton co-signed?
Three other boarders were having their government-issued checks sent to Francis's place.
I don't like where this is headed.
Mr. Hayes, I know how difficult this can be. How could you possibly know? The lies, the accusations. Would you just let me have my boy back so I could bury him in peace? I'm sorry, but I can't do that yet. We need to discuss a few things. Dragging his reputation through the dirt wasn't enough. You still want some more?
When Stephen was younger, he wore Medic Alert medallion. What was it for?
I know what you're talking about.
Was something deleted from his medical records, Mr. Hayes?
What was so damn important that the world couldn't know your son was ill? Stephen was epileptic. As he was a kid, all he wanted to do was play football. Back then, the medications were less sophisticated. The disease was scary. No one wanted to let him play. As Stephen got older, he learned how to control his seizures, how to hide them. After my wife passed, I didn't want to keep our son from doing what he loved.
So you made believe it didn't exist?
Only to the schools he attended. Stephen still saw doctors. He still took his medication. There was no paper trail. Paid off a doctor friend of mine to fill out his yearly sports physical. Nothing was written down that could affect his playing status. I thought I was doing the right thing.
What drug was he taking, Mr. Hayes?
Something new, an anticonvulsant. He'd been on it for a few months.
That's what looked like barbiturates in his system. The seizure meds have the same chemical breakdown.
That's what triggered the pancreatitis. Stephen's internal organs were swollen and bleeding.
It was probably already happening when he was hit by the police officer.
Are you saying his meds are what killed him? This whole phony drug charge had nothing to do with it?
No, we're not saying that at all, Mr. Hayes. But it's starting to look like there were a lot of other contributing factors to your son's death. A bad reaction to his meds just being one of them.
Oh, my God. I just wanted my son to be happy. That's all. You know?
What did you do to me?
Just slipped you some sleeping pills that were lying around. They won't kill you. I have to take care of that myself.
Not a good idea, Mrs. Littleton.
Please, dear, call me Francis. And don't take it personally. It's just bad timing on your part.
Francis, don't be stupid.
That's what the IRS man said. If he hadn't stumbled out into the street, he could have kept Victor and the others company.
Others?
I didn't kill any of those people, you know. They all just died. I didn't report their deaths. Why should I? What was the government going to do with all that extra money anyway? Who the hell is that? Don't go away. I'll be right back. I'm coming! Damn it! Hold your horses! Hello, you two. What a surprise. What brings you here on such a chilly morning?
We were looking for Detective Hoyt.
Detective Hoyt? I haven't seen him today.
That's funny because that's his car right there.
I'll tell him that you're looking for him, if I see him.
You don't mind if we come in, do you?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Don't drink that. Don't drink that. Don't. This tea party's over. She did it. She did it with this.
Oh, that's right, Big Mouth. Blame it on the old lady. It's not enough that I have to take it up the wazoo from the HMO and the Social Security, and now the cops, too. Where's the justice? I was just trying to make a living. I mean, come on. They were dead, for God's sake.
So the drugs in his system weren't narcotics, they were prescription? Now, like the 6 grams of crack we found in the kid's locker to Vasco.
Your own in-house informant just called to tell me a dealer selling that specific grade of crack cocaine works out of Somerville. Guess who lives with his wife and 2 daughters in that very neighborhood?
Mr. Principal? I'm shocked.
Has anyone tried to lift a print off the baggie that was confiscated?
Well, we didn't have any reason to.
Well, you have one now.
Excuse me, but I'm talking to someone here.
Call can wait.
I'll get back to you.
Mr. Vasco, we got some questions in regards to your relationship with Stephen Hayes.
My relationship? What are you talking about? Who are you?
Garrett Macy, Chief M.E. We thought you should see these.
Stephen Hayes never used, but he planted those drugs in his locker just to decimate his credibility.
You were having an affair and Stephen knew about it.
He was going to ruin my life.
So instead you ruined his. Your impromptu bust aided in his death.
I'm not responsible for that boy's death. The police department is at fault.
Hey, we acted on your information.
I didn't kill anybody.
Actually, you did. Stephen was epileptic. He was on a new medication that caused internal bleeding. He'd already sustained injuries from a football game, and your raid was the final blow.
Cops punched him once in the abdomen, rupturing his pancreas and causing a severe, painful hemorrhage.
I didn't know Stephen was ill. It seems withholding that information from his records puts his father at fault.
The man's son is dead. Agree with what he did or not. He's got to live with that the rest of his life.
Just a suggestion. Framing Stephen and trying to cover up an innocent kid's death might not sit well with the board. You might want to consider resigning. Oh, Devin, hey. I just want to say that you did some really great work.
Thanks, I think.
What's wrong? Case closed, right?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to catch a bad guy.
I'd be happy we figured out what really happened.
I made so many mistakes. I mean, I specifically remember saying this was an open and shut case of police brutality. You told me not to jump to conclusions, and what did I do?
Great jumping, really.
Sorry.
No, don't beat yourself up.
Man, going back to that high school really brought back some memories. I mean, it actually kind of surprised me how little things have changed.
All those different cliques.
Stuff like we would have hated each other.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, but you know, different strokes, right?
Absolutely. So, Jordan, did you want me to grab some dinner?
No, not really.
Me neither.
Great, we'll see you tomorrow then.
All right, good night.
When I see my parents back, I
don't want to grow up.